Welcome to Yoga with Tina. This is a day to restore. We call this low and slow sequence. We are going to still do some downward dogs and some three-legged dogs because it's important for us to move energy through us. So sometimes that energy we're moving through is that kind of tight, stressful energy, and that hopefully will clear the way for that peaceful, good feeling to come back. It's both and, right? We've got to be able to face both to be able to have balance. So not to be afraid of, but to respect and observe. So we're going to start by grabbing our pillows. We'll need a pillow and a block today. So grab a pillow. Join me in child's pose. I'm going to do kind of the traditional, usually I do extended child's pose with the knees released out to the long edges of the mat. Today, I'm not going to do that, I think. So I'm just going to grab the pillow. If you have limitations in your knees, go ahead and double up the mat underneath. You can just kind of curl your mat so it gives a little bit of extra cushion on the knees. And really just kind of hug the pillow in. So I'm going to rest my chin right on the edge and kind of curl my arms under and just start lengthening that spine. So allowing the spine to round. And once you get to and just play with the pillow. You can also, you can also put the pillow right underneath your bottom and release that way. So if you have limitations in the hips or the knees and that feels better, by all means do that. Whatever feels good. That's going to be the theme today. Whatever feels good in the body. Because if your body's feeling good, it opens the pathway for your mind and your spirit to feel good too. Well, let's take just 10 deep inhales and exhales as we're starting to center and ground this morning. And being grateful that we have tools to allow us to center and ground despite whatever chaos is swirling around us. So as you start to sink in, start softening the shoulders, softening the hips. Start noticing the parts of the body that are connected with the earth and let that connection help you to feel supported, to help you feel grounded in the sense of not needing to have everything figured out, not needing to know the answers to everything. Just let that earth kind of hold you for just a few moments. If you're feeling untethered or uncertain, if your brain is going too quickly, just feel the connection. Like really name the parts of the body that are connected with the earth. Help it to bring you back to center. Deep inhales and exhales, in through the nose, long, slow exhales to release. Let your body soften around the pillow. Let your body sink, soften the skin of the face. Release that jaw. So bringing separation between the top and bottom teeth, but keeping the lips closed. And then release the tongue from the top of the mouth. Notice how that softens and releases the whole face. Continue the deep breathing. Draw the belly button in towards the backbone. With each exhale, release what is not serving you today. Oftentimes what's not serving us is kind of that cycle of control. Just respect. Control is just fear. So as we are exhaling, try to release some of the fear. Clear the way so that we are able to respond with respect to self, respect to others. One more deep breath. In through the nose. Let this be your longest inhale. Holding at the top. Allow your body to feel expanded. And then on the exhale, slowly drain from the chest, the ribs. Draw the belly button in towards the backbone, holding at the bottom. Softening the jaw, softening the skin of the face, and only releasing the hold when your body says that it must. As you come back to a neutral breath, start noticing where the body's holding any tension. Notice where the body feels good today. So both and is going to be a bit of a theme. So as we are noticing the stress and noticing the tension, I also want you to identify and notice the parts of the body that are feeling good today. Let it balance us out. As you feel ready, kind of wiggle the fingers and toes. And then slowly start bringing the hands right underneath the shoulders. Kind of just lifting the torso up just a little bit. Walking the hands towards the knees. Can maybe even tuck that pillow under the hips if it's not already there. Kind of sitting back, just giving yourself a little bit of comfort in hero pose. Finding your alignment, so drawing the top of the head up towards the sky. Drawing that chin slightly towards the chest. Shoulders over hips. Notice the sensation of the air on the skin. Notice the sensation of sitting back on the heels. How the tops of the feet are pressed into the mat. Just mindfully taking in. So when you have those high anxiety days or the high stress days, the days that we feel untethered, identify what it feels like. So check in with the senses. Feel the textures. Notice the air coming in through the nose. Notice the warmth on the exhale. Notice the furthest sound that you can hear. And then start identifying the sounds as they become closer and closer. As you feel ready, draw the chin towards the chest. Deep inhales and exhales. On the next exhale, release back to neutral. Draw the hands behind the back, clasping, and then sending the fist towards the earth. Starting to slowly peel the shoulders open, draw the shoulder blades together. Keeping the core engaged. And then slowly looking up towards the sky. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. Soften the jaw. Making space for deep inhales and exhales. And then slowly release the hands. Drawing the hands right in front, maybe remove the pillow, walking the hands away from the body, coming into puppy pose. Trying to stack the hips. Sometimes it's hard to know if the hips are actually stacked right over the hips. Right over the knees. So fingertips are spread wide, fingertips are pressed into the earth, palms are pressed into the earth, underarms are released towards the mat, forehead released. So if this feels good to have a block under the forehead just to bring the earth up, make the modifications that feel the best to your body. Just know we're holding poses, not the breath. Keep the arms engaged here. One more deep breath. On the exhale, start to walk the hands back towards the body, setting up for table. Nice long spine. Fingertips and palms pressed into the earth, tops of the feet pressed into the earth. So just notice, go back to your neutral, the tops of the feet being neutral and soft, and then notice how that changes the posture when you press it in. So when I do that, immediately my core engages just a little bit. Eyes are towards the mat, micro bend in the elbows, and then small circles in one direction and the other. And be mindful, we've been on our knees for a few minutes now. So if you are feeling discomfort, slide that pillow right underneath the knees or double up the mat if it's not already. So small circles in one direction. These can be as subtle or exaggerated as you'd like. And then slowly switching directions. Continue that breath, deep inhale through the nose, long, slow exhales. And then come to neutral. Bring the left hand in towards center. Slowly peel the right arm up and over, keeping the hips square to the front of the mat. Just opening up. And then slowly releasing, switching sides. So planting the right hand in the center and then peel the left arm up and over. Shoulder released away from the ear. Pressing the right hand into the mat. And then release. Bringing the left hand towards center, peeling the right arm up and over again. Hips are square. And then slowly bring the back of the right hand to the small of the back. One more deep breath. On the exhale, release the right arm up and switching sides. So right hand towards center, release the left arm up and over. Square those hips and then bending the elbow, bringing the back of the left hand to the small of the back. Activating that right arm for stability. And then slowly release. Drawing the legs underneath, so coming into a cross-legged pose, slowly starting to release the hips down. So again, we're going to use this pillow as much as possible. Sometimes it feels good when you're in cross-legged pose to just kind of elevate the hips. I do this with the block quite a bit too. If I know that I'm going to be in meditation, there's meditation pillows, or you can use the block. It just kind of helps to draw the knees down away from the body and helps with the posture, helps with the alignment just a little bit more. And if your knees need a break right now, just extend them out in front of you, but find that alignment. Constantly thinking about lengthening, softening. So soften the shoulders away from the ears, soften that jaw. Inhale, reach the arms up and over. And then exhale, bring the fingertips in front. Keeping the sit bones connected with the pillow or the mat. Walk the hands away. Maybe the forearms come down to the earth or to the block. So grab your block. You can always bring the earth up to you. The beauty of the props. One more deep inhale. On the exhale, bring that left hand to center. Release the right arm up. So if it feels good to bend into this, so bend the left elbow towards the earth and release the right arm up. If it feels better to keep it straight, just listen to what your body needs today. On the next exhale, release the right hand towards center. Left arm up. And then slowly release. Walking the hands off to the right hand side. Left hand on top of right. So opening that side body and then peeling the left arm up and over. The next exhale, release. walk the hands through center, off to the left hand side. Right hand on top of left. Take just a moment here to feel that stretch in the side body, and then release the right arm up and over. And then slowly release, coming back to neutral, chin towards the chest, roll the spine all the way up. Extend the legs out in front of you, toes and knees pointed up. Inhale, reaching the arms up, really ground the sit bones, engage the core. Exhale, hinging forward, reaching as far as you can, and then releasing. Maybe bending the knees, drawing the arms underneath, and then releasing. Another way to do this is to bring that pillow right in front. So you're bending the knees and hugging the pillow and the legs in. So with the pillow on top, you can really release the forehead down, giving space to breathe, of course, or moving the head to the side, one way or the other. And just sink the body in. Just let yourself restore. We're staying here for 10 deep inhales and exhales. On the next exhale, slowly release the arms, chin towards the chest, roll the spine all the way up. Either tuck the pillow back underneath the hips or set it aside. Knees and toes pointed up, pressing the hands into the earth. Finding that alignment on the inhale, lifting just the heels up, engage the legs, the core, engage the arms by pressing the palms into the earth. Deep inhales and exhales. One more deep breath in. On the exhale, release. Bending the right knee and holding the edge of the right foot and the knee in the arm, in the hands, and just rocking side to side. So try to keep your alignment here. I know it's a little tricky because we're moving this leg back and forth. So rocking first, and then on the next exhale, draw the leg in towards the chest. So maybe it doesn't move that far. You can also hook the ankle inside that elbow, inside the left elbow, just to kind of give yourself it. This is almost another version of pigeon pose. So we're not doing the traditional pigeon pose today, but this is another version of it. So if you're looking, when we do traditional pigeon pose, the body, the front leg is supposed to be, I mean, the full expression of it, I shouldn't say supposed to be. The full expression of it is the leg is supposed to be parallel with the front of the mat. Typically, most of us tuck that leg in. This is a way that we can modify the pose, that we could, kind of mirror the expression of the full pigeon pose. And then on the next exhale, invite the top of the right foot into the crease of the left. To modify this pose, you can release the foot towards the knee, no pressure on the knee, or just bring the foot on the inside of the left leg. So sitting here just a moment in half lotus. Inhale, reach the arms up and over. Engage the core, reaching, hinging at the hips, reaching away. And then releasing the fingertips towards the earth. On the next exhale, chin towards the chest, roll the spine all the way up. Invite that left leg to bend into the seated full, half lotus. And if you like full lotus, if that's within your practice, go ahead and invite that left leg up. So inhale, we're going to lengthen the spine. Exhale, reaching right arm, crossing the midline over towards the top of the left knee, and then twisting. So using the leverage of the hand on the outside of the left leg, release that right shoulder down. With each inhale, we lengthen. With each exhale, we twist. And then slowly release. Release the right leg and the left, coming back to our staff pose, and then switching sides. So left, bringing the left foot in the right hand, and just rocking side to side, just warming up that hip. And then really connecting the sit bones, and start inviting the leg in closer to the chest. So instead of rocking back and forth here, just really holding the pose, trying to find that space where you can release the hip while keeping that alignment. So it's even a little bit tricky for me, and I can kind of see myself as we're working through. So just think about releasing those shoulders down, trying to stack shoulders over the hips. And if this pose feels challenging to you, remind yourself not to clench the jaw. We hold the pose, not the breath. Deep inhales and exhales. When you start learning a little bit about energy channels and chakras, and when you're open to kind of hearing some of that, which is not all of us are really interested in it, but one of the places that we hold a lot of our stress and tension and feelings can get lodged is the hips. So on days that we're trying to ground, on days that we're trying to restore, we work on those hips. And then invite the top of this left foot into the crease of the right leg. Finding that sweet spot. Sometimes the pressure of the foot kind of feels funny on that quad, so just move it around until you can find a good sweet spot. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release. Deep inhales and exhales, soften that jaw, soften the skin of the face. And then on the next exhale, bending the right knee in, coming into that half lotus. Invite the full lotus on the other side if you had full lotus when we had the left leg up. So find the sit bones, release right hand behind, crossing the midline with the left hand. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist. And then slowly release. Tucking the legs, kind of sweeping them underneath, coming back through tabletop. Maybe move a little bit side to side. Flipping the hands upside down, just work those wrists a little bit. We're just moving into our downward dog, not doing anything too crazy, just wanting to make sure that the wrists are nice and loose. And then from tabletop, bring your handprint, one handprint in front of where they are, turn the toes under, lift the hips high, coming into downward dog. So draw the ears in between the arms. Sometimes it helps to bend the knees to get the ears in place so that you can really lift that tailbone up high. So we're looking for an A-frame shape with the body. Fingertips and palms are pressed into the earth, neck and head stay nice and soft. Underarms are released towards the mat. Softly pedal the heels down one at a time. On the next exhale, kind of move that left foot towards center and then release the right leg up. So start by having the hips square to the front of the mat, and then stacking the hips. So you're kind of opening the hip to the right hand side. Sometimes it feels better to bend this right knee. So just play around a little bit with the feeling of how each stage shifts the pose, shifts the body. We're opening hips. And then slowly return the hips back to neutral and release that right leg down. Pedal it out. Invite a child's pose here if you need a few breaths to just reset. And then bring right foot towards the center and lift the left leg up high. Stack the hips now. You can bend that left knee. Notice how it changes the feeling of the pose. And then recenter the hips, release the left leg down. Slowly come down to child's pose, extended or regular child's pose. Take 5 deep breaths to relax and restore. And then slowly walking the hands back towards the body and come back to the knees. Again, like if you need the pillow underneath the knees, we're going to go into camel pose. We're not spending a ton of time here. Whoa. That could have been fun. Something new. So with camel pose, you've got different modifications for it. I always hinge at the hips back, or not hinge at the hips, like kind of hinge from the knee. So this is like if you don't have a thick mat to protect the knees, it does feel good to have the pillow underneath. And then if you have your block and you want to use that to kind of bring the earth up, you can set the block up right behind you. But we're going to start by hinging back. I've got my toes connected, so I'm not going into a full camel here. So hinging back, reaching for the right heel, peeling the left arm up, and then arching the spine. On the next exhale, release. And then curling the spine forward, not necessarily into child's pose, but just rounding the spine. I still have my toes connected, so I'm getting a good arch stretch. And then slowly rolling the spine all the way up, setting up for the other side. So hinging back, reaching for the left heels, and then peeling the right arm up and over to arch the spine. Soften the jaw. Exhale, release. Sink the hips back. Round the spine. And then slowly come all the way back up. So full expression of camel. The tops of the feet are connected. And if you want to do that, go for it. I'm going to modify today. So I'm going to keep the toes connected so that the heels it's a little bit closer. So as I hinge back, I'm going to reach for the right heel, then the left, and then open the chest and the heart, looking up towards the sky. One more breath. On the exhale, sink the hips first, and then one hand released, and then the other, rounding the spine. Forehead towards the earth. Take 3 breaths here. After the 3rd breath, slowly bring the torso back into alignment. Remove the pillow. And then sweeping the legs underneath, extend the legs long. Find the sit bones, inhale, lengthen, exhale, hinge at the hips, release. So we're just counteracting. We did a back bend and now we're doing the opposite, just to release that lower spine. And then coming all the way down to the mat. So slowly releasing the body. Engage that core all the way down. Bending the knees. And then if you have a block, the assisted bridge feels so good to release any tension from the lower spine. If you don't have a block, you can invite the pillow underneath, or even just do full bridge pose as it feels good to you. So on the next inhale, really scoot the heels in close to the hips. Plant the feet. So the weight of the body is going to be in the bottoms of the feet and in the shoulders. On the next inhale, peel the hips up. Maybe even come up on tiptoes. Use the medium setting or the low setting. The high setting is probably too much. But we're placing the block at the sacrum. The sacrum is in that in-between spot between the tailbone and the small of the back. When you release the weight down onto the block, it should feel like a really good release for that very lower portion of the spine. If it does not feel good, it's not in the right place. I promise you, it should feel good. So the bottoms of the feet and the shoulders are holding the weight in place. And then the hips are just sinking into the block. The arms can be released here. We're going to stay here for 10 breaths. So if you do not have a block, feel free to use kind of this as a flow. So like slowly lifting on the inhale and then slowly lowering on the exhale. So if you're not using the block, it would be inhale, we lift the hips, and then exhale, roll the spine all the way down, really taking your time. So appreciating and respecting the alignment, and then lower on the exhale. So you can do that for 10 breaths. We've got about 5 more breaths here. One more deep inhale, rise up on the toes, and then remove the block, and then exhale, slowly lower, one vertebrae at a time, all the way down, taking the time. Draw the knees in towards the chest, give yourself a hug, maybe an encouraging word today. Open the arms up into a T, release the knees to the right hand side, looking out over the left. To deepen this pose, you can take the right hand to the top leg and just draw, a little bit of, to deepen it, just kind of press into the leg. Both shoulders are connected with the earth. On the next exhale, return to neutral, reset the spine, reset the shoulders, and then release the knees to the left hand side, looking over the right. Release that right shoulder down. And then slowly on the next exhale, reset the spine. Release the legs in front. Invite any last movements that might feel good in the body. Maybe an inversion like plow or shoulder stand. Maybe happy baby. Or maybe just drawing the knees in toward the chest one last time. Or if you are ready, to invite Shavasana. Release the legs out. Allow the feet to naturally open to the long edges of the mat. Arms released to the side, palms facing up. Feel the parts of the body that are connected. Help that to let you feel grounded, secure, held in place. Feel the vibration of the body and the soles of the feet. Soften the tops of the feet. Release each toe one at a time. Release any tension from the legs. Soften the hips. Release the lower spine. Release any tension from the stomach. Soften the upper spine. Feel the shoulder blades pressed into the earth, and then release. Release any tension from the chest, soften the shoulders, release the arms. Feel the backs of the hands connected to the earth. Feel the palms of the hand. Feel the vibration of the body in the palms of the hands. Release each finger one at a time. Release any tension from the neck. Soften the jaw. Soften the cheeks, the ears, the nose. Release the tension from the eyes and the forehead. Taking a deep breath in through the nose, on the exhale, release from the top of the head, washing over the body and through the bottoms of the feet. For just a few moments, I'll let you rest and restore, and then you'll hear my voice again. As you start to hear the sound of my voice, start bringing awareness back to your space. Noticing and respecting the stillness. And then only as you feel ready, start inviting small movement into the fingers and toes. Slowly rolling to one side, keeping the eyes closed, maybe drawing the knees in towards the chest. Taking just a moment and giving gratitude for what is. Gratitude for your body's ability to continue to move, to learn, to grow. Most importantly, gratitude for our mind's ability to release. To release the stress, the anxiety, the fear, so that we may go about the business of peace. Knowing that the movements of yoga connect the mind, the body, and the spirit. It allows the release so that our minds can heal, so our spirits can heal, which is no easy business these days. So as you allow your mind to be still, know that you are also recreating that healing in your mind. All of that stillness helps us to create a pause for us to think before we speak, think before we act, maybe even think before we feel. All of that helps us to pause and respond instead of react. That pause to respond helps us to have a little bit more patience, helps us to be open to the conversation, helps us to be patient and bring a little bit more peace into our own lives, even when the world is out of control. That pause and response helps us to create more justice. Even when it doesn't feel possible. It is possible. It starts with us. Peace begins with me. Peace begins with you. We have to find our center and our balance to be able to learn to respond properly. Respect for self, respect for others. You are beautifully and perfectly made just the way that you are, both a masterpiece and a work in progress. Both sinner and saint, both and, always. As you feel ready, slowly come back to a seated posture to close the practice out for today. Bringing fingertips to the earth, finding that alignment, helping us to feel grounded. One more time before entering the day. Top of the head released towards the sky, ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. Jaw is soft. Taking a deep breath in through the nose. Open up the arms, collect up this beautiful energy to sustain you into the palms of the hands. Exhaling to heart center, thumbs to the heart to remind us we are not alone and we are all connected by no mistake. So holding that feeling in the palms of your hands. And when you reach moments of the day when you are feeling untethered, bring the hands to heart center, find that thumb to the heart. Remind yourself we are not alone. May you be safe, may you be well, may you be at ease, and may you know peace. Namaste. The light in me honors the light in you.